Have you ever looked at a massive global brand and just wondered, how on earth did they do that? Well, today we're tearing down the playbook of a true master, Damon John, the guy behind FUBU and one of the sharks on Shark Tank. We're going to figure out exactly how he built his empire and, more importantly, how you can use his secrets for your own big idea. So let's start with this number, $6 billion. That's not a typo. That's the estimated value of the FUBU brand today. It's just a mind-blowing number for a brand that completely changed the game in streetwear. But here's the part that really gets me. This $6 billion empire, it didn't start with some huge investment fund or family money. Nope, it started with $40. $40 that he earned waiting tables. And not journey, from serving food to building a global brand, is exactly why his advice is so real and so powerful. Yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? How did he pull it off? I can tell you it wasn't just luck. It was a very specific mindset, a unique way of looking at marketing, and a deep, deep understanding of people. So let's dive in and unpack it. Okay, so first things first, we have to talk about the foundation. Damon John's success is really built on 5 core secrets. You can think of these as the absolute must-haves, the pillars you need in place before you can even dream about growing big. So here they are, the 5 pillars. It's all about putting people first, really knowing where you stand in the market, mastering your numbers, being scrappy and resourceful, and, finally, truly living your brand. Let's break down what each of these really means. Secret number 1 is so simple, but so many people get it wrong. It is all about people. Damon is huge on this. You've got to invest in your team, sure, but the most important investment, that starts with you. You're the engine of this whole thing. A brilliant idea can totally fizzle out if the founder doesn't have the skills, but a simple idea can explode if the founder is constantly learning and growing. Second, you have to know your position. So get this. After 5 years of insane success, FUBU just stopped growing. They hit a wall. So they did the research, and what they found was a huge problem. The world saw them as the baggy jeans company. That's it. That perception was boxing them in. They had to completely change their strategy based on what the market was telling them, not what they wished they were. All right, secret number 3, master your numbers. Quick question. Look at these 2 companies. Which one is actually doing better? It's not company A, no way. Making $100 million in revenue means absolutely nothing if you're losing $10 million. Damon is obsessed with this idea. Profit is the only thing that matters. Cash flow is the oxygen for your business. You have to live and breathe it. The 4th secret is all about being resourceful, and Damon tells this story that just perfectly captures it. He talks about this teenager with 100,000 followers on Instagram. Every single Monday, he'd post a new t-shirt design as a 24-hour flash sale. On Tuesday, he'd only produce the exact number of shirts that were ordered. No waste, then he'd ship them out the rest of the week. By just repeating that simple process, he made $120 million in 1 year. He didn't have a factory, he just used what he had. And that brings us to the final secret for a strong foundation. You have to live your brand. Authenticity is non-negotiable. If you're out there saying you want to change the world, but really you just want to get rich, people can smell that a mile away. They'll figure it out. Being honest with yourself and your customers from the jump is how you build a brand that lasts. Okay, so you've built a solid foundation. Now what? Well, you have to get people to actually notice you. And this takes us to Damon's absolute genius zone. Marketing when you are flat broke. Welcome to the amazing world of guerrilla marketing. Look, this isn't about fancy billboards or spending millions on a Super Bowl ad. This is the art of the underdog. It's all built on one simple idea. When your wallet is empty, your brain has to be overflowing with creativity. It's not about outspending the other guy. It's about outthinking them. First off, Damon makes this really crucial distinction. Marketing is just the big picture idea of getting information about your product out into the world. Advertising, though, is specifically paying for space, on TV, in magazines, on websites. And for a new business, that cost can be a total killer. So what are the rules of the game for guerrilla marketing? Well, it has to be creative, something people haven't seen before. It needs to get people talking and interacting. The message itself has to be super simple, focused on one main idea. And, of course, the golden rule, spend as little money as you possibly can. And here it is, the legendary example everyone talks about. With absolutely zero ad budget, Damon got scrappy. He went and borrowed a bunch of popular hockey jerseys, stitched the FUBU logo on them to make it look like they were a sponsor, and then filmed his own rap battle for YouTube with a big ol' sponsored by FUBU sign hanging in the background. So what was the result of that super simple, super cheap video? $300,000 in orders just pouring in. He didn't pay for an ad. He became the content. He created the event. That is the power of using your brain instead of your bank account. So you've got your foundation, you've got your marketing megaphone. There's just one more piece of the puzzle that'll help you grow faster and avoid a ton of painful mistakes. You need a guide.
Yeah, this is the question every single entrepreneur asks. We all hear, get a mentor, but how do you actually do it? It feels like this big mystery. Who do you ask? What do you even say? Damon's take on this completely flips the whole problem on its head. First, we've got to redefine what a mentor even is. A true mentor isn't someone you take from. They're someone who gives. Their whole purpose is to use their hard-won experience, all their wins and their failures, to help you get where you're going just a little bit faster and with fewer bumps in the road.
So how do you find this giver? Here's the secret. You have to become a giver first. Step 1 is to mentor yourself. Be brutally honest and learn from every single mistake you make. Then step 2, start mentoring other people. Use the knowledge you have, no matter how small you think it is, to help someone else out. When you start doing that, you create value. And that value is like a magnet for powerful mentors. They see your drive, they see you're helping others, and they'll want to help you. All right, we've covered a ton of ground here. The foundation, the marketing, the mentorship. So let's wrap it all up and put it together into one clear, actionable takeaway. This is your roadmap. When you boil it all down, the playbook really comes down to these 3 things. First, build that rock-solid foundation. Know your numbers, invest in people, and be real. Second, create your megaphone. Use your brain, not your catch, to get attention. And third, find your guide, not by taking, but by giving value first. That will bring the right people into your life. Following this playbook took Damon John from a $40 hustle to a $6 billion brand. The principles are all right here. The only thing left to do is, well, do something. So that leaves just one last question for you. What is the one creative, scrappy, resourceful action you're going to take for your idea, starting today?